Hey guys, so today what we're going to learn how to draw on 3ds Max is a couch cushion. So to start off, make sure you're in your 4-quad interface, and in your top view, draw a box. It doesn't matter what size it is or what thickness, this is just going to be a platform. And then go to your left view and draw another box. Measurements, once again, don't really matter. Okay, so this is going to be the box. The second one we drew is going to be a box for our actual cushion. So once you have that, you can go to your perspective viewport and expand that, because that's mainly where we're going to be working in today. So go ahead and select the second box you drew. Go to Modify, and then set your length and height segments to about 15. And then also, to actually see the segments, if you go up to Default Shading and select Edged Faces, you'll see those segments show right up. Okay, once you have that, go ahead and right-click and convert it to an editable poly. And then go to your modifier list and add the cloth modifier. Okay, great. Then under Object, go to Object Properties. Okay, so once you're here, select your box, Box 2. Then select Cloth. And then over here under Presets, go ahead and select Silk, because this is going to be the smoothest fabric, which will create the nicest creases in our cushion. Okay, then go down to Pressure and set that to 2.5. Okay, so once you have that, go back to your command panel, and if you scroll down all the way to stimulation parameters, under gravity, go ahead and set that to 0 so that the object doesn't actually collide with anything and it's just expanding within itself to create that pillow shape or cushion shape. Okay, great. Then go back up to Object and press Stimulate. Okay, so you should get something like this by the end of it. And once you have this, you're going to want to convert this again to an editable poly. And then go ahead and select the edge icon under Selection. And then highlight this whole pillow or cushion. Okay. So once you have that, zoom in a little bit to the top, and we're going to make a crease in the pillow. To do that, go to your ribbon and go to Edit, and under Edit, go to Cut. So find about the middle ground here and start from, I would start from not this top edge, but over here. And then go about 3 boxes down. And then mirror that on the other side. And then we're going to go all the way up to the other side of the pillow. So just follow the lines that you already have. And then use this toggle to rotate yourself to the other side and do the same thing. It doesn't really matter how big or little your crease is. We just want to make it seem a little bit more realistic. And once you are ready, go ahead and connect these. Okay. And then the next step is going to be to kind of modify this and actually sync it down. So to do that, go back to your selection and select vertexes. And we're going to kind of modify this a little bit before we create the actual crease so that the vertexes actually line up. So make sure you have your move tool selected because that's how you're going to move them. And click once and then you can move them along the axes. I'm pretty satisfied with mine, so I'm just gonna barely move them. Okay, and then in order to make the actual crease, see, this is what I did not want to do, so I'm just going to Control Z that. Okay, go to your select tool, and we're going to select this middle column of vertices, and it'll select it on the other side as well. And then go back to your move tool and make sure you're dropping it down along the z-axis, and it'll create that crease. Make sure it's it on the other side. Okay, great. So once we have that, we can turn on our Turbo Smooth under the modifier list to see what that looks like. Okay, and before we do anything else, go back to your editable, actually, scratch that. Go to your modifier list and add another Edit Poly modifier. Okay. Then, under that, you're going to select Edges, and you're just going to press on one segment on the top middle edge here. And then in order to make sure the whole thing is selected, in your ribbon bar, you're going to press the loop icon. So now we have this whole middle line selected around the borders of the cushion. So now we're going to create an end seam. And to do that, go to your ribbon panel again, go to Edges, and then under that, go to Extrude Settings. Okay. So then just kind of play around with these measurements however you like, whatever seems the most realistic to you. You can also mess around with how thick it is. Okay. So that looks good to me. And then you can also go ahead and turn off the edge faces to see exactly what it looks like. Okay. So now we're going to add another cloth modifier. So go to your modifier list, add cloth, go to Object Properties. Okay. Then you're going to add this platform over here. So go to Add Objects. This box will pop up, and select the other box that you drew, add that. And this platform, which is box 1 for me, is going to become our collision object. So select that at the bottom. Then go back to your cushion, or box 2, select cloth again. And now, this time under presets, we're actually going to select generic heavy. And then under pressure, we're going to put 2. So we're going to actually, and then press OK. The reason we set this to generic heavy is so that way whenever it drops down, it's a little easier for it to drop rather than if we set it to silk or cotton or something like that. So once you have those presets, go back to your stimulation parameter, so you can either scroll down or go to this side, and set the gravity to -100. Make sure it's negative, or if it's positive, the pillow or the cushion will just float up. Okay, so once you have the gravity set to -100, go ahead and stimulate that. So as you can see, it's slowly dropping down, and once it collides with the platform, it'll start to crease. And once you're satisfied with a certain amount of creasing, you can press cancel. Okay. So this is what we have now, and if you don't like how much it's creased, you can go down to this animation panel or tab, and you can go back and forth with how much creasing you want. So I'm satisfied with this, and this is what your final product should look like for your couch cushion.